Druid, huh? I feel like I haven't even seen a Druid with this deck.
My dear Malfurion.
I guess I have, but it's been a while. What do I want against Druid? Probably none of these. Although Wave of Apathy is maybe reasonable. Alright, Loot Hoarder Raised Dead is pretty good. Let's just hope to find another card draw minion or an Embalming Ritual or something. I'm gonna play Loot Hoarder next turn, and if it lives, I'm pretty sure I coin Grave Root on it. I don't think it's super likely to live, but it could. If it does die here, and I don't draw something relevant, I probably will raise that a single Loot Hoarder. I don't have to play a Loot Hoarder here. I could try to save it for next turn with Gift of Luminance. I don't know, that seems kind of sketchy though. These are all pretty terrible. Shadow Madness, I think, does actually nothing against Druid. I guess Anubis Ath Defender. These other cards also kinda do nothing against Druid though. Shadow Madness can maybe give me a way to stabilize from behind if he has Anubis Ath Defender and I can like steal it and then Grave Rune it or something. I don't think it's super good on its own, but the other options were also terrible. Well, he's probably gonna Guardian Animals here, but I should get some card draw out of this. If he hits a Cleaver, then I might overdraw, but overdrawing's fine. He wants to keep the stealth, huh? Well, you are certainly free to do that. If he had attacked with this, I would have a much better turn with like maybe a Thalnos Ripple or something. I actually have a pretty decent board clear with this hand. Thalnos Ripple Breath is 5 damage. I usually don't clear boards that effectively. It's kind of nice. I guess I'll see what this does. Cabal Acolyte. Okay, let's just steal that thing. Yeah, this was good for sure. Good Cabal Acolyte. That cleave is kind of a bummer. So I actually do have a clear with Thalnos here if I want to take it. He doesn't have that many cards in hand. So like denying card draw from this could be good. Especially considering that he's down 2 Guardian Animals, so he probably needs... Like, he probably doesn't have that many good cards left in his deck. What does Raise Dead do? Mostly just gets me card draw stuff, or like... stuff that's not super playable. I guess I'm just gonna Thalnos clear. No real reason to kill the Thalnos, I think. Could have done a Breath Blast and drawn the card immediately, but I have no mana to use the card, so whatever.
My dream is your nightmare.
Wave of Apathy? That would be a pretty good draw here. That's not a very good draw here. Ouch, 4 damage. Probably should have traded this first to take 1 less damage, but whatever. Whatever. I do have 2 Flesh Giants and 2 Pupils that I would really like to draw into, so copying card draw here is fine. Giving Loot Hoarder's Divine Shield isn't great, but I can kill their Divine Shields with Breath if I really need to. Oh, Wave of Apathy. Wave of Apathy makes me want to play Cabal Acolyte here. I could Wave, then Cabal, then Gift of Luminance, and then I end up with a Cabal Acolyte that has Spell Burst. But I don't have any way to actually steal the second minion off that.
I wonder.
Could also just play Giant plus Grave Rune here. That seems very reasonable. And then if things on his board get out of hand, I can use the Cabal Acolyte to recover a bit.
I wonder.
I don't really love putting damage into this because I might want to steal it, or I might end up stealing it. But I also want to have access to this card draw, so I think it's fine. The card draw is actually particularly good because drawing into 1-mana spells lets me steal 2 things with Cabal Acolyte next turn. So yeah, popping those Divine Shields is definitely good. Seemed like not the right hero power target, but whatever. Alright, there's the Embalming Ritual, so I can steal 2 things here if I want. Question is, do I want? I mean, they're all pretty reasonable things to steal, so it's probably good too. I do have to use my Gift of Luminance on not this Flesh Giant, which is, you know, not perfect, but I think it's fine.
What is in Lynn's will?
Your mind is not your Your mind is not your Dance, puppet, dance!
That was probably the best one. I don't even know what I want here. The Nithog was definitely the worst seal, but whatever. I feel like I'm doing pretty okay with this board.
My dream is your nightmare.
I think you would have to get pretty lucky with Dream Portals here for me to be too afraid of what's happening.
My hand is too full. Time waits for no one.
I am not too afraid of what's happening. Wonder if I ever intentionally pop my Flesh Giant here, just to have more power in play. I could like trade here, Breath, and then Penance my Flesh Giant. Might be worth it. Shadowy figure targets Flesh Giant for sure. My Flesh Giant replaces itself with 3 things. Okay, let's breath. Then this goes here. This goes here. And then we target here. Oh wait, I guess I would shoot the 2/2. Could have traded into one of these Yseras, but I am not concerned about dying here. Not at all. I think I actually messed up that turn. I probably didn't even have to cast Penance, did I? I was like so tunnel visioned on killing the original Flesh Giant. But I could have just copied it first and then played Breath of the Infinite. The problem there was board space though. Maybe the way I played it was the best. I don't know. Zixor. Oh, was that the attack you wanted to make? Are you sure that was the right attack? Oh, that might have been the right attack, shit. I am in danger of losing right now. Bump. Pretty sure this is lethal, but just in case I'm wrong, I'll take an extra card here. That might have been scary if my opponent didn't rope, but I think I was fine.
I will fight with honor.
Alone give me strength.
I think we toss these. Early Thalnos is kind of nice to see, but wow, Grave Rune is terrible. I think Paladin in general is probably just a pretty tough matchup for me. Show me something with 1 health. Oops, that's not what I wanted to see. Well, I think I do play Thalnos here. If he doesn't trade, I can Breath of the Infinite and kill both of these. I don't really want to raise dead on a single minion. I think I just pass for now. Sneaky delinquent. Well, I probably play an AoE card here. If I Holy Ripple, it leaves this up as a 1/1. But I can also Hero Power. Holy Ripple's also probably just a worse card going forward. Let's do this. I guess I need to get back at Thalnos here. And then my next Raised Dead can hit 2 Thalnos.
I wonder. I must have slain 100 or so.
2 mana 6/6 is reasonably strong.
For vengeance.
He's showing 15. So I kind of have to do something here to not die. Penance plus Breath of the Infinite looks pretty good, actually. Penance first, that way I get the spell damage on the lifesteal. Another Penance. Next turn I can Raise Dead, Thalnos, Breath, Penance. Maybe I'm in a reasonable position here.
Magic is not a toy. Do not lose this.
I don't understand my opponent's deck at all. So Penance plus Breath is 7. That doesn't quite kill this. Penance discounts this to 2. I would not be able to Grave Rune a Flesh Giant here. Unless I play Raised Dead, then I can actually. See what the secret is. Redemption. Nice 1/1 idiot. I'm glad I killed the Sir Finley first instead of the Argent Braggart. I think I want to make some Flesh Giants. And then next turn I can make some Pupils. Although Breath of the Infinite might be pretty good next turn, we'll see. I'm not worried about Paladin having any burst.
Your presence offends me. Reporting for duty.
Definitely a Breath of the Infinite turn. Maybe a Wave of Apathy turn as well, because I can't deal with both of his 4 power minions. If I double Thalnos Breath... No, that doesn't actually accomplish anything. Playing all my pupils into all these 1/1s seems kinda bad.
Your presence offends me.
1 mana heal for 3. I don't think I need to cast it.
What is in
He does have a random hunter spell in his hand. I don't think I need to cast this. I still have 2 Cabal Acolytes, and it might be pretty good for trading into a Blessing of Authority minion or something along those lines.
Reporting for duty.
A good explorer comes prepared.
This really just looks like a Highlander deck, but his...
This is a great thing.
Oh, his Finley wasn't active because of the soul fragments. I'm so slow. Okay, his deck makes so much sense now that I've realized that. God, I'm an idiot. Okay, well, let's draw a card here. Might make my play a little better. There's no way that I can play Gift of Luminance plus Pupil plus Grave Rune this turn. I can Embalming Ritual this thing. Doesn't really do much. I think it's just Pupil, Grave Rune, Wave of Apathy. Hopefully I can land a Gift of Luminance on this Pupil next turn. If not, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely more value. I could have just played it on the Flesh Giant. But I need the taunts at this point. I'm pretty low on life, obviously. And on the off chance that he is able to deal with this, I could probably land Gift of Luminance on a Flesh Giant next turn anyway. Although I do kind of want the Giant to pop, because there are 2 more Giants contained within. Maybe I Thalnos Gift for an AoE or something. He does play Libram stuff. Or maybe he just plays that as a standalone card. I mean, he's at least playing the 1/3, I'm sure. Consecration? Was that the play? I don't have this final bit of damage, unfortunately. Probably want to kill this just so no nonsense happens. Just like bump bump, I still get to push 16. And then I probably... Yeah, I probably just like Embalming Ritual copy this. That way if something tragic happens to my board, I still have a lot of stats in play. And then we can just throw out some card draw, whatever. Yeah, if he Death Wings, he's dead here. Because I have 2 8/1s. So, let's see. He has a Shimmerfly card. I don't think any Hunter spells are dealing with this. An Onyx Mage Scribe card. So he could potentially have like some sort of equality effect, but he needs something to pair with that. The Bronze Explorer card doesn't do anything. What's this card? Oh, this is a Libram of Wisdom. So yeah, it's hard to imagine his hand doing much here. I guess that could have potentially been scary.
Well played.
So I ended up going 23 and 16 with this deck, which is approaching a 60% win rate, so it's actually kind of sick, I guess. The only change I made to the list was cutting a Holy Ripple to include a High Abyss Allura. Allura probably should have been in the deck from the start. She's really insane if she can hit a Grave Rune or a Gift of Luminance, or even an Embalming Ritual. And then most of the other stuff is fine. Kind of a bummer if she hits herself with Penance, but whatever. Sometimes just healing for 3 is good depending on the matchup. I think she's strong in this deck, but not insane, I would say. As far as the rest of the list goes, I'm pretty satisfied with it, I think. There are some other cards that would probably be pretty good to play, like, I don't know, maybe Forbidden Words could be pretty good in this deck. And I'm sure you could come up with several other cards that would be fine, Shadow Word Death depending on what you're playing against. But it's just so hard to find cards to cut from this list. I feel like almost everything in here is essential. Maybe like the Shadowy Figure is an unnecessary amount of greed. Or maybe Shadowy Figure just ends up being better than Gift of Luminance, because sometimes putting a Divine Shield on the thing you copy is kind of awkward. If it's like a Flesh Giant with a big Death Rattle, you don't really want it to have Divine Shield. But I think overall Gift of Luminance is probably better than Shadowy Figure. Stronger with like Sethek Veilweaver, sometimes better with Thalnos. Another card that could be pretty reasonable is Psyche Split. This card tended to be pretty good when I randomly generated it, but it is a bit clunky to actually put in the deck, although it becomes a lot better now that we're playing Allura. It's just, again, how do you find a deck slot for it? Convincing Infiltrator, kind of the same story. Maybe Convincing Infiltrator is better than Cabal Acolyte in this deck. That could potentially be the case. Also, depending on what you're playing against, maybe you would want to include like a Soul Mirror in this deck. But I don't know. Overall, I'm pretty happy with where the list is right now. Seems like it has a lot of flexibility to deal with all the different matchups you're running into.